in Owerri, Imo State. AU becomes permanent member of G20 as divisions over Russia and Ukraine war deepen. Before the news in detail, here is a special message. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let us give him maximum support for the task ahead. Good evening and glad to have you join the Sunday News tonight. My name is Maureen Stone Enujoke. Anambra State Governor Chukwuma Soludo says the solution work for healthy living and opportunity to exercise body and mind will now hold once a month. Governor Soludo made this announcement at this month's event held at the Oka City Stadium. Government House correspondent Ejigabana has the details.
Commission piloted the walk, which featured juggling, walk, stretches, aerobics, and many more fitness procedures. The exercise attracted top government functionaries, including Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Somtochukwu Udeze, Chief of Staff to the Governor, Mr. Ernest Ezeajogi, Principal Secretary to the Governor, Barrister Joaquin Aneto, Chief of Protocol and Deputy Chief of Staff, Mr. Chinedu Nwoye, Press Secretary to the Governor, Mr. Christian Aburime, EXCO members, various sports clubs, among others. Governor Soludo, who also announced that over 4,000 youths who successfully participated in the One Youth Two Skills training will be empowered by the end of this month, emphasized that his government believes in empowerment on sustainable basis as against giving political appointments indiscriminately. While stating that such era is in the past, the governor encouraged youths to engage themselves meaningfully by learning skills which is potentially beneficial. He advised them against waiting for white-collar jobs, but create something for themselves, entrepreneurs and employers of labor, adding that there is no limit to what they can become.
Two skills. You never can tell who are the future millionaires and the future billionaires and so on and so forth. Because by the time you finish, some will be going around and saying no work. Whereas in a few years' time, some will be employers of labor. And we pray for those of you who have the entrepreneurial spirit that you will all blossom, and in the next few years, you will not only employ 105, you will employ maybe 1,005. Our youths, with one youth, two skills, the future belongs to you.
Speaking to the ABS, Chairman of the Sports Development Commission, Mr. Patrick Onyedum, who encouraged the Anambra to exercise regularly, said that the governor is gradually unfolding his package for the sector across the state. Ejike Abana, ABS News.
Stakeholders at the just concluded 12th Annual National Workshop and Conference of the English Language Teachers Association of Nigeria, ELTON, have called on policymakers to carry English language teachers along while making policies that concern them. The workshop conference, organized by ELTON in conjunction with Department of English, Chukwuemeka Odumegwu University Igbariam, took place at the university. ABS education correspondent Queen Aniwogu has the details.
Members of the association from all over Nigeria and representatives of the British Council. The theme of the conference was English Language Pedagogy, a bridge between policy and practice in Nigeria. In his welcome address, Vice Chancellor of Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu University, Professor Greg Nwakobi, represented by his Deputy Vice Chancellor in charge of administration, Professor Matthias Angante, described the theme of the conference as apt and called for the need to revisit the pedagogy of teaching English language, saying that this will help reduce drastically the phobia towards English language as a cause.
By doing so, the influence will be felt by many over time.
The convener and national president of ELTON, Professor Inyere Ken Maduako, explained that the association is a non-profit academic organization for English language teachers at all levels, with the mission to promote teaching of English language and literature in Nigeria and to jointly tackle problems that have common interest from different angles. She called for more people to join ELTON to enjoy the numerous benefits available, even as she expressed hope that the paper presenters would give participants tips for teaching English language better.
Our mission statement and vision has been to promote the study of teaching of English and literature in English and to jointly tackle problems that are of common interest through different channels.
The chairman on the occasion, an accountant general of Anambra State, Dr. Chukwudi Okoli, pointed out that the importance of English language and the scheme of things to re-strategize and improve on the language cannot be overemphasized, and called on policymakers to include English language teachers in their policy making. In his lead paper presentation, Professor Onyemechi Mba from the Department of Linguistics, Igbo and other Nigerian languages, University of Nigeria, Nsukka, said English language pedagogy in Nigeria should be adjusted to the current global disposition of teaching foreign languages for wider and international communication and the indigenous languages to promote Nigerian national sensibilities and ethos. Professor Fidelia Moore of the Coast City University, Enugu, represented by Dr. Scholastica Mba, who spoke on the paper titled Literature, Culture, and the New Media in Nigerian Novels, said English is the language of Nigerian novels, and without English language, there cannot be the new media. In their separate remarks, the Commissioner for Education, Professor Ngozi Chuma Ude, represented by the Director of Higher Education, Mrs. Oyibo Alo, and Head of Department of English, Chukwuemeka Odumegwu University, Dr. Fidelia Okeke, appreciated Governor Chukwuma Soludo for his education-friendly disposition, the Vice-Chancellor, Professor Nwakobi, for his efforts towards the conference, and all that contributed in making the event a huge success. Professor Echezona Ifejurika was the chairman, local organizing committee of the conference, which ended with an 8-point communique, which, among other things, called for the provision of quality education for all and the integration of technology, multilingualism, and cultural diversity in English language. Queen Anibogo, ABS News.
Anambra State Commissioner for Agriculture, Dr. Foster Ihejiofor, has called for the sustenance of all the investments made in agriculture by the federal government. Dr. Ihejiofor made the call while playing host to the National Program Coordinator, Federal Government of Nigeria International Fund for Agricultural Development Value Chain Development Program, FGN/IFAD VCDP, Dr. Fatima Aliyu, who visited him at his office at the State's Agricultural Development Program, ADP office in Oka. ABS Agric correspondent Chibuzo Obidike has the details.
To ensure that the country does not go hungry, while referencing the ongoing revitalization of Ifita-Ogwari Irrigation Canal, which the federal government is presently doing through ATASP1, Commissioner Ihejiofor appealed to the FGN-IFAD VCDP to assist the state in developing 5,000 hectares of land in the area to be fully utilized for agriculture, which he said will help to sustain the irrigation project. On the yet-to-be-paid government cash counterpart contribution, GCCC, for the program, Commissioner Ihejiofor strongly assured Governor Chukwuma Soludo's support to the project and other projects in the state, saying that he is committed to putting action to his words as contained in his manifesto.
The government is investing in agriculture to make sure that the people of the country don't go hungry. And what we need is to tweak all of those investments a little bit to make them self-sustaining.
Speaking, Dr. Aliyu said she is in the state to discuss their implementation activities in the state and informed the commissioner about their forthcoming 10th supervision mission in 2 weeks' time. She noted that the mission will, during its visit, announce the inclusion of one more local government in Anambra State to the 8 participating local government, making it 9 council areas benefiting from the project in the state, as a reward for coming top in the project alongside Niger State. Earlier, while addressing staff of the State Coordination Office of the Anambra State Government, FGN-IFAD VCDP, Dr. Aliyu said a high-level advocacy visit would be made to the state by next week over the unpaid government cash counterpart contribution, while charging them to continue to give their undiluted support to the state program coordinator, Mr. Nnamdi Aguncha, to perpetually maintain their position as one of, if not the best participating states, and assured them of necessary support from the national office.
So I hope you continue to give your SEC the necessary support that it needs in order for you to achieve. You know, you will see your medals, your plaques, all the awards that you have won. So if you are up there, you have to do everything to stay that up. Nobody wants to come down. It's up, 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 up.
On his part, Mr. Agwuncha promised the commitment of the State Coordination Office of the ANSG FGN IFAS VCDP to consolidate on the already recorded achievements and assured that implementation activities will totally comply with Governor Soludo's vision of green, prosperous, and livable Anambra State.
It was a moment of joy at Amansi as the mentally unstable woman, popularly known as Mama Blessing, gave birth to a bouncy baby girl. Chidima Ikanyon will filed the report taken from here.
The baby's powder to well-wishers as it is custom among the Igbo people, Mama Blessing was all joy that her bundle of joy is safe and sound, following the directives of the Honorable Commissioner for Women Affairs, Anambra State, Honorable Ifi Obinabo. The woman PG of Amansi, Mrs. Igwebike Chinyere, brought the newborn and her mother to Oka for proper medical attention and rehabilitation. Speaking, Honorable Obinabo thanked God for safe delivery and appreciated Amansi women for their support towards the woman and her baby. She noted that state government will rehabilitate Mama Blessing, after which she will be reunited with her daughter.
We're moving on. We're there. Okay? People like you should be commended that you saw her, you took good care of her, took her to hospital, and you've been taking care of her. I'm so proud of you. I must tell you the truth. So, may God bless you.
As at the time of this report, the baby is in the care of the State Ministry of Women and Social Welfare, while the mother is receiving treatment at Inteje Rehabilitation Center.
A 19-year-old Paul Mmesoma Obielwe from Obunike, who was rescued in the Newe building collapse that killed 3 others, has given account of his experience, thanking God for sparing his life. When ABS visited the family of the deceased at Etiti village, Nemo, sympathizers were seen visiting and discussing the unfortunate incident in Lotons. Correspondent Joseph Ebocha filed the report.
When he visited the Aniefuna family, Master Obielwe, who said he was still an apprentice under the late Mr. Chizoba Aniefuna, explained that they were on electrical work at the building before it collapsed on them, saying he was lucky to have been rescued. He informed that before visiting the collapsed building site at Nnewi, he joined the late Aniefuna to his house in Nimo, where Chizoba picked his 2 children that also died in the unfortunate incident.
Also, my boss to see to our number. I know one
Younger brother to the late Chizoba, Mr. Uchechukwu Aniefuna, who said his late brother was a trained electrical engineer, called on relevant authorities to expedite action on thorough investigation to unravel what actually happened and who should be held responsible for the death of his brother, aged 48, and sons, aged 13 and 11, alleging attempts to shield the actual culprits. Meanwhile, the Anambra State Police Public Relations Officer, PPRO, Tochukwu Ikenga, said police has taken over the scene of the collapsed building and is working with relevant agencies to uncover what caused the collapse in order to take necessary actions in line with extant laws. Speaking when stakeholders of the Nigerian Institute of Building, NIOB, and its regulatory body, Council of Registered Builders of Nigeria, COBON, visited the scene of the collapsed building, the Anambra State Chapter Chairman of NIOB, Mr. Kinsley Nweke, who regretted loss of lives and property, identified internal and external quackery as existing challenges in the build sector and said that synergy among the 7 construction professionals and government intervention are needed to bring solution, thereby putting an end to cases of building collapse in the state.
Synergy is the pure answer, and recognizing each other's professional ethics and rules in the built environment. Because if we have and know our rules, our various rules, in fact, the building collapse should have been cut by half.
On his part, a former president of NIOB, Mr. Kenneth Ndoka, called for the implementation of the provisions of the National Building Code, as well as increased advocacy and enlightenment to help people understand what to do to get their jobs done with safety and quality guaranteed.
Anybody who is doing conducting building operations or building development projects without engaging the proper professional that is supposed to do that work, which is the builder, then that person is a quack. One clarification is that the building industry and delivery of building projects has to do with teamwork.
In Oka, Joseph Ebocha reporting for ABS News.
Come on the news, transformative discussion on national extractives to begin on September 14th in Owerri, Imo State. AU becomes permanent member of G20 as divisions over Russia and Ukraine war deepen. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let us give him maximum support for the task ahead. The news returns after this break. Stay with us.
I need something we go ginger me. With Tom I dey breathe for it now. I dey run kilometers. That's why I dey come.
Glad to welcome you back to the rest of the news. Spaces for Change will host the second edition of the National Extractives Dialogue on September 14 and 15, 2023 in Owerri, Imo State. NET 2023 will set the stage for an inclusive and transformative discussion on the responsible management of oil, gas, and mineral resources in the West African sub-region, organized in collaboration with the Nigerian Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, NETI. This edition will bring together over 200 stakeholders from diverse backgrounds, including policymakers, regulators, extractive industry players, academia, media, civil society, organizations, and the host communities. The theme, Host Community Development Trust Catalysts for Equitable Benefit, Sharing, and Sustainable Prosperity for All, reflects the urgent need to harness the potential of Host Community Development Trust established under the Petroleum Industry Act. These trusts aim at bridging the gap between natural resource wealth and the well-being of host communities. The executive director of S4C, Victoria Ibezim Oheri, said the NET 2023 theme could not be more timely, as all corporations are currently in the process of setting up HCDTs. According to her, host communities should not be reduced to mere spectators in the administration of the development trusts. The African Union is to join the group of G20 as a permanent member, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced Saturday as they inaugurated a leaders' summit in New Delhi for the world's wealthiest nations. In his opening speech, Modi invited the chair of the African Union, Azali Assoumani, to take his seat as a permanent member of the grouping, as other leaders applauded and looked on. Modi is bringing together global leaders in New Delhi as enduring divisions over Russia's war in Ukraine continue to deepen, taking charge of delivering discourse around some of the most pressing issues, including global economic jitters and a climate crisis that needs urgent action from the world's wealthiest nations. The African Union is a continental body consisting of the 55 member states that make up the countries of the African continent. It has long been a guest invitee to the G20 gathering alongside other major global organizations, including the World Bank and International Monetary Fund. This step will, however, make the body a permanent member. Like the European Union, is potentially turning the G20 into the G21 and giving the African bloc a front row seat at one of the world's most powerful global governance bodies. Russia's Dani Medvedev reacts after winning the U.S. Open Tennis Tournament men's singles semifinals match against Spain's Carlos Alcaraz at the U.S. USTA Billie Jean King National Tennis Center in New York City on September 8, 2023. Daniil Medvedev upset defending champion Carlos Alcaraz in an enthralling semi-final duel to reach the U.S. Open final on Friday. Spanish star Alcaraz had been hoping to become the first man to successfully defend the U.S. Open since Roger Federer in 2008, eyeing a blockbuster final against 23-time Grand Slam singles champion Djokovic on Sunday. But Medvedev won, which shattered Djokovic's dream of a calendar year Grand Slam 2 years ago by beating the Serb in straight sets in the finals in New York. The 27-year-old from Moscow has said before Friday's semi-final he would have to deliver an 11 out of 10 performance to beat Alcaraz, who had defeated the Russian comfortably in 2 previous meetings this season. Remember that you can follow news and programs on ABS from many parts of the world by liking our Facebook page, follow us at Anambra Broadcasting Service, subscribe to our YouTube at ABS Television, okay? Twitter at ABS Radio TV, and on Instagram at ABS Radio TV. You can also log on to our website, www.absradiotv.com. And now a recap of the main points. Anambra State Governor Soludo has said solution work for healthy living to hold once every month. Elton has held her 12th annual national conference and workshop. Transformative discussion in national extractives is to begin on September 14 in Owerri, Imo State. And on the foreign scene, AU has become permanent member of G20 as divisions over Russia-Ukraine's war deepen. To end the news, a special message again. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let us give him maximum support for the task ahead. And that was it on the news for tonight. Thank you so very much for watching. My name is Maureen Stone Enichoke. Good night and stay blessed.